It is reckoning day for real estate agents. Hi, everybody. My name is JJ. You're watching Bull Boom Bear Bust. It is May 2nd, 2023. Welcome back to the channel. A lot of things happening in the financial world with this economy. We've got the second biggest bank failure. First Republic Bank was basically bought up by JP Morgan. So a lot of big things happening. Remember back in March when we saw Signature Bank and when we saw SVB fail, I said that's not going to be the end of it. And of course, here we are now with another bank failure just recently. Now, it's more than just banks that are failing. It's a lot of different industries are seeing layoffs and slowdowns, especially in real estate. And some people think that in order for there to be a lot of pain in real estate, that there has to be crashing prices. Well, not necessarily. Just a big drop off in the number of sales can really have a significant impact on the broader economy and, of course, the people working within the industry. And I'm talking about real estate agents. The number of real estate agents that hold licenses has begun to drop pretty significantly here over the past 6 months. Now, first, let's go back to the 2008 housing bubble. The number of real estate agents ballooned to about 1.38 million, according to a chart that I have right here. I'll go ahead and put it up right here for you. That dropped down to below a million by 2012. And then, as we know, the market bottomed. It started going back up. When prices went back up, when prices started climbing again, a lot of new agents entered the market for the attraction of the higher commissions. And with the ultra low interest rates, of course, there were many more sales than there was when the interest rates were higher. Well, now something is happening where if you look to the edge of the chart here, you see that we peaked at about 1.6 million real estate agents. That number is now starting to drop. We're now down to about 1.57 million. So declining sales is big. When you're only making 1 or 2 sales a year, that's very significant compared to someone that might be making 10, 12, 15 sales a year. And I have a statistic out of here. In the first 2 years, most real estate agents average about $8,800 in earnings. And that's the first 2 years of a real estate agent's career. Now, after that, of course, they develop a pipeline typically, and they're going to start making more. But the first 2 years can be very, very tough, especially making that kind of income. A lot of agents have to do it as a second job and hold on to their first job until they build up a clientele and build up a pipeline. And then the people that drop out, or the real estate agents that don't hang in there, are usually the newer ones because, again, they're just getting started. They don't have the big list of contacts within the industry. So it's the newer ones that typically drop out. So somebody can get their license and a year later they can drop out of being a real estate agent because it's the toughest time during the first 2 years. Now, as this decline continues, the decline in the number of real estate agents, if mortgage rates stay high, if the housing bubble continues to slowly deflate, we're going to continue to see this number drop. And will it get back down to where it was before it started running back up again? When you look at the bottom there, back in about 2012, it bottomed out at about 900, looks like 980,000. So will we drop that far this time? It's going to be very interesting to find out how deep and how long this housing slowdown lasts. Now, just think about how much of a negative impact this is going to have on the economy. Imagine you're a real estate agent. You're just getting started within the first year. You've got a few clients. You've made a few transactions. And you've decided to now do this full time. Now, here comes the slowdown. Here comes the higher mortgage rates. Here comes the banks collapsing. Here comes the massive number of layoffs this year, already 5 times as high as they were at this point in 2022. The economic contraction, slowdown, decline, whatever you want to call it, is here. So now this is going to add fuel to the fire. It's going to have the snowball rolling faster down the hill, so to speak, with more people now out of work and the big slowdown in the number of real estate transactions. That's less money being spent in the economy. That's less activity at your furniture store, at your home improvement store, at your home entertainment store. And it's going to just lead to even a broader slowdown. It's going to be contagion, basically. When transactions are so few and far between, even though prices haven't really dropped that yet, that has a major impact on the economy. So it's going to be another thing to look out for here in 2023. Now, as we head into summer, typically we see an increase in the number of active listings, homes on the market. Let's bring up a chart here. If you look at the summer of 2021, we saw the uptick there in the number of active listings. As the summer ended into the fall and winter, we saw it drop. We look at last summer, 2022, the big spike in listings up to about 750,000 at the peak, and it dropped back down to where we are as of last month. It was about 560,000 or so. So this summer, I fully expect the spike to surpass last summer's spike. So again, last summer it spiked here at about 800, or rather 780,000. So now I would expect this to spike up to about 900,000 or even a million active listings. And it could be much worse depending on how bad the economic fallout plays out here. Will we see more bank failures? Yes, I think so. Will we see more big retail bankruptcies? Yes, I think so. Are we seeing a commercial real estate crash? Well, in some cities, yes. Look at San Francisco. Commercial buildings going for over 50% off. Also, some pretty large declines in other major cities. I saw listings in Manhattan, New York, 30, 40, 50% off. So commercial real estate is crashing. This is going to be contagion, folks. Contagion coming from a lot of different directions. So I think we're going to see a spike in listings here this summer in the real estate market. Will that be enough to keep a lot of the real estate agents in work? Well, maybe. But then, if prices continue to drop, the commissions are going to drop, and that's going to be a less appealing career for a lot of people as well, right? So just the fact that there's going to be more listings and more activity is not going to get a lot of these real estate agents out of the woods. When you consider that commission is a percentage of the sales price, and if prices go down, well, you can figure out the rest. Now, speaking of being a real estate agent, there's an interesting story that I read, and I've read a few stories similar to this over the years. A real estate agent in Billings, Montana was showing a house, and they walked into a room in one of the houses to look at it, and there was somebody hanging out there waiting for them, and it scared her, and she took off running. She didn't know if the person was there to hide out and attack them, or if it was just a homeless person trying to get some sleep and get out of the elements. But it can be a little bit dangerous. I've also read stories about people that pose as clients or pretend to want to buy a house so they can get the agent alone in the house, which is a scary thought, especially if you're someone of a weaker stature and you don't have very good defense skills, so to speak, or defense mechanisms. It can be very risky to go into a house with a stranger, especially when you know that it's vacant, and if you yell, there may not be anyone there to hear you, and maybe the neighbors will be close enough to hear you if they're not at work, if they're not sleeping. All right, Bulls and Bears, so please let me know what you think. Are we going to see the number of real estate agents continue to drop off, or is the rising inventory going to create more transactions and keep more real estate agents in the game? Or will transactions increase but prices still falling? Will that still have agents leaving the business? You please let me know down in comments what you think about this. And of course, we're going to keep an eye on the overall economy, the real estate market included, home prices, you name it. Come back to this channel for more updates. We'll talk to everybody very soon. Keep stacking, everyone. Bye for now.